own tastes to one side, because others clearly do like these sorts of things. And with that, I give you the new Bentley Bentayga, here in flame orange paintwork. Not, I have to say, to my taste, but that doesn't mean I can't review it objectively, of course. Now this is a facelift, as I say, so we've got the bigger grille at the front. The lights have this cut glass effect here to fit in more with the Continental GT. Moving down the side, well, we've got enormous 22-inch wheels, which is why the 400mm brake discs look merely adequate. The rest of this fibre rear wing, which is, as I say, important, I think, I agree, in terms of lowering the centre of gravity on a car that weighs 2.5 tonnes. Around the back of the car, well, it's a bit like the Aston Martin DBX in terms of stamping a sports car identity onto the rear of an SUV with the new lights. Mechanically, as I say, not much has changed. 20mm wider on the rear axle and no W12 at launch anyway. So this is the petrol turbocharged V8. Sanitizer. That has to be the poshest hand sanitizer I've ever seen. Ah, the times we live in, eh?
So with germ-free hands, we headed off into the countryside.
The bigger changes to the Bentayga have really taken place in 9-inch touchscreen in the middle, which is very nice, very reactive and looks lovely. We've also got the clock moved up here with the sort of the wing motif, which is rather Art Deco.
The other interior changes in pitching, and more importantly, the upgrade to the fabulous name stereo.
Mobile devices still in the vehicle.
Oh, the room for rear passengers, so there's 100mm more knee room than there was in the old Bentayga. There's also this down here, this little screen, so you can fiddle with everything to your heart's content. Anyway, back to the driving. The actual driving experience is, whatever the road surface, there is a plushness to the air suspension. I do quite like that. Sort of ornamental, but they have a luxury to them because of the sheer weight. 568 pounds-foot of torque is ample. Certainly for 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, 0 to 109.9, which is
enough, unless your route to work is down a runway, which I suppose it might.
And there is just no disguising that weight. You feel adequate sometimes.
Even though the V8 versions of Bentleys have always, this is certainly not the sportiest of SUVs, and Hustling It reveals that Bentayga can be very successful at fulfilling all these desires. Desires that quite a lot of people clearly have, which is why this exists.
1,000 Bentaygas have been produced so far, and 45% of Bentley sales in 2019 were made up by Bentayga, and that's, you know, it was an old car by that point, hence the midlife facelift of this.
Each, as they say, to their doesn't mean you can't appreciate the quality of the singing.